Okay, so today we are going to discuss what objects and classes to include in our project, along with the relationships as well. So let's get started. First, I think the first class I will introduce is the person class. So this person class is basically like the users that is going to use our system, and their attributes contains like their general information. So, any ideas on what attributes we can add first to this class?
So I think it can have string attribute with name,
Okay,
so it can store the full name,
and then
and also from which store the contact number.
okay, okay, done. So, any methods?
For the method, I think we can have a method first, set details with the parameters string name and string form. So it can assign toss value.
Details. So, what is the return type for this set details?
The return type is void.
Okay. So the passed in value should be name and phone. Okay. So
Okay.
any methods, any additional methods?
I think we can use the accessor such as the string get name
Get name, string. Okay, next.
and string get form.
Phone.
These two methods can retry the data.
Okay.
Finally, we should have a method which is a void display to display all these details.
Okay. Display. So the return type is void, right?
Yep.
Okay. So I think we are done for this person class. So since this is a base class to inherit, the two types of users we have would be guests and staff. So I think we can introduce the next class, which is the guest class. Guest class. And this class will inherit from the person class. So I'll go this class. Okay, so are there any recommendations for the attributes?
We can identify attribute like the integer guest data, guest ID.
Okay, guest ID.
And your string ID number to save the sensitive info.
Next,
String email,
email. Next,
H in the type of integer,
okay, integer type.
and string category for the classification like student or disabled.
Category. Category string. Okay, so this would be like the information for our guests. So are there any methods, recommendations for our guest class?
So for the method, I think we can have a mutator, which is void set guest to store all that info.
Set guest. Oh, void. Okay, next.
And also for the accessor, which is get guest ID. which return an integer type.
Guest ID, which returns integer type. So next,
And the get email, which return a string.
which returns string.
And the last one is get age, returning an integer.
Get age, return type integer as well.
Yes.
Any extras?
I think it should add on the method which is get discount rate, which returns the discount rate value. The type is probably double.
Okay, I can do that right now. So it should return double.
Then lastly, it should have a display method which returns a void.
Okay. So it is basically same just like the present class just now. Void. No, I typed it wrong. Okay. So I think this class should be done. We can move on to Tianqiu to draw it next.
Then the next class they should be used is probably the staff classes. So let me edit. Well, I think for staff class is inherited from the inherited from the person, so should have the for the attribute for staff class, it should probably including a staff ID, the role of the staff, and the password to log in. So staff ID, which is probably a string value. Staff ID integer value. Sorry, integer value. And row, which is probably string. And password to access it, which is probably a string as well. So are there any method for the staff class?
For the methods, I think you can first include the mutator set stuff. So the return type is void. So this mutator is to assign the role and password.
So set
okay. Stuff.
Set stuff.
Yeah, the return type would be void.
Yeah.
Okay, next, I think you can also include authentication function, authenticate.
Okay, yeah.
And it would return Boolean type.
Boolean type.
This would verify the access for the staff. So you guys agree for this?
I agree, and I think this function should accept a password input, which is the string type.
Oh, okay. Wait for a while. Has password input as string, as parameter. Sorry. Okay.
Then staff can also use the void theorem status method, which will show the info and duration of stay for hiding guest ID.
Gestures with returns void.
Yes. And lastly, we will have our on overrider void display method. So that like guest comes just now that display the staff information. Yeah, I think that's all.
So are there any ideas for the class that we should add on to our system next?
I think we can add a room class to handle all the room related information and ensure the room status are updated correctly during booking.
Okay, room classes. Okay. Uh, Good idea. So for a room class, it should probably carries the attribute of the details of a room. So the attributes should be room ID and the price of the room based on its type. So it should also have a type and the availability. So maybe it's available status and maybe the service info. Okay.
Okay. Wow. So that would be 5 attributes.
Mm. And the price, which is double. Then the availability. Which is Woodland. And the service. The service. Which is a string. So is there any methods for the room or any function that should be included in?
So I think we can use the void method for the book rooms to make it unavailable.
Okay. Room. So what's its return type? Void.
Void. Yes. And another one is release room, which also the return type is void to make it available again.
These are good methods. So, oh yeah, don't forget the accessors as well. I think you can add the get availability.
Oh, accessors. Availability.
So the return type is Boolean.
Boolean.
And the next one is get room ID. The return type would be integer.
The return type is integer. Okay.
And get price.
Price
You will return double.
double.
Okay, and finally, we can also include the display function like just now. The return type would be void.
display. This is wait. Okay. So I think this class is also done as well. So is there any other classes?
I think we can introduce the payment class. Let me draw for you guys. So it's a payment class. So it can responsible for the processing guys transaction and generate a detailed receipt after the successful payment.
So then for the attribute, I think we can include the amount, which is double type, to store the total payment amount.
Okay, amount and double type. Yes.
And the method, which is string type, to store the selected payment method. How about the method?
For the methods, I think it's suitable to include the process payment first. So it would return the type void. So this process payment it is responsible to display total amount and prompt the guest to choose the payment method. And next method, I think we can include like generate receipt,
Generate receipt.
and it will return type void as well. So this will be displaying the information for the receipt, like the amount they paid and the rooms booked, etc.
I think we can implement our system call function. We can implement our course class reservation. For this reservation class, reservation. I think it can be have 5 attributes, which are the reservation ID, which is integer type, and dash, integer also, and rooms count, string type, and package type. Which are
Actually, I think for the rooms count can be the integer type, right?
Yeah, I think it should be integer. for the
okay.
rooms count. The package type is correct. I think it's the rooms
Yes.
Or room counts. Okay.
count. Yeah.
Don't forget to add the attribute include which is the guest, which is type is guest pointer which it get the attributes from the guest, means it show aggregation relationship with guest classes, and it should also have rooms attribute which is type is rooms pointer. So the it can store multiple selected room using an array object. This show aggregation relationship with room classes.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, so since payment will exist when a reservation exists, so it should contain a payment which is payment type. So it will store the payment object related to the reservation. So the relationship between reservation class and payment class is a composition relationship because the payment object depends entirely on the reservation object. So if the reservation is deleted, and the payment record will also be removed. So it should also have the array like service name, which is string type.
Okay, service name.
Yes. And the service price for the double type.
Any more?
And this there should also be service count, which is integer type. So that we allow the guest to choose multiple service.
Then for the method, any idea?
For the methods, I have a few ideas. So the first we can add is set reservation. It would be void type. So this allows the users to input their reservation details, and it also has validation feature to validate the duration of stay. So second method I think we can put is the add room.
Yeah, room.
It is void return type, and it should accept the room object as parameter. So next we also have add service. It is also void return type. It should have service as parameter and also the price as parameter.
Service and price. Okay. Then to write out this class, we can add function like calculate total. It will return the double, and this function is used to calculate the final payment amount. And we can also add the make payment function, I think. We will return the weight type to send the total amount to payment class for the payment processing. This will solve the payment aspect of the class. Any add-ons?
Oh yeah, don't forget display function also. So it is return type. The return type is void.
Pay function. Okay, I think that's all for the reservation class.
So next, I will draw a class that can bring it all together. So how about a hotel class? So that to act as the control class. So this is responsible for coordinating room management, reservation, reporting, and also the staff monitoring operation. So I think for the attribute, it should have rooms, which is room type. So you guys have any idea?
Yeah, I agree for this. But I think you can change the rooms object to array type so that we can store the number of rooms,
Okay.
and we should also have reservations array. It is from the reservation class.
Okay.
Reservation class. And additionally, I think they should also have attributes like room count. That is return type is integer. So this shows how many number of the rooms they have.
Okay.
Count. And also rest count. So it shows the reservation count.
Okay. So give me a second. Yes.
The return type is integer as well.
Okay. That's all?
Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
I think the method that they should add on to the hotel is the add room, which its return type is room. Its return type is void, but its parameter is room that the parameter of the room is the room type is room object
Okay.
to add the room to the hotel.
For the void type, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then it should also add a search room to search the room ID. So the parameter of this method should be should be integer,
Yes.
but it's room ID. Yeah, room ID, which is data, and its type is integer, and its return type is room object.
Okay.
Then it should also add reservation, which is parameter is reservation, which types of the parameter is reservation object,
Okay.
and its return type is void. This will give the reservation status for the specific room.
So,
Then for the repeating feature,
mm,
I think we can implement methods such as share available room, which will return the void type.
okay.
And then we can implement the generate report. It will return void also. And then we can add on the real room detail for staff.
Okay.
It's also return void. And lastly, we can also include the soft room by price.
Okay. So,
This will also return the void type.
okay.
Okay, so I think that's it for the methods for this class. So this hotel class should have the aggregation relationship with the two classes like room and reservation since they contain their arrays.
Okay. Okay. And the another one is room,
The
right?
other one is reservation. No, I mean room.
Okay. association relationship, right? So you're quite far away. Okay.
Okay.
So if we are done for this class, we can proceed to our next class.
Okay.
Okay, I think we can include a file manager class. So this class will ensure that hotels records are permanently stored and can be retrieved when the system restarts. So for the attribute, I think we should have one to store the file names. And the type is string. Okay. Have any recommendation for the attribute?
I think the file name alone is enough.
Okay.
Then you should probably proceed to the method. So the method for the file manager, I think it should have a save data method, which is return type to is void.
Okay. The next one?
I think we can include the log data method.
Okay.
This method can handle the data retrieval size when our program initializes.
Okay. So any idea?
So this class I think should be done, but I think it also has association relationship to the hotel class because it interacts with the class to like save the data from the hotel, but then it doesn't have the hotel. It doesn't have a hotel object in the attribute.
Oh, I see. So
for
let
association.
me draw a relationship. Yeah. Okay. So any add-on?
So I think we already have 8 classes, and basically we already have enough features for a hotel reservation system. So are there any additional ideas from you guys? Or is that it?
I think it's enough.
Okay. So I think that's it for our discussion.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you guys.
Okay. Okay. Stop.